Hey, it's Friday. Yeah. Hey, junior hires, we've got a pep rally as soon as this is over. Yeah, that's going to be so much fun. You guys, all right, let me do just a couple of quick announcements and we're going to get moving through two great mission reports. Junior hires, as soon as we're finished here, you guys are going to take off over to the Lion's Den, okay? I just want to remind everybody we've got ACSI accreditation team that's going to be here on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and we're just going to try to just be business as usual, okay? I'm not asking you guys to be something that you're not. We're just trying to show them who we are because we are a great school, and this is just going to be a great week, okay? So nothing special, just be yourself, okay? I have some good news for our freshmen and sophomores. We have some furniture being delivered today for the Uncommons area, okay? So you guys are going to have your very own space, okay? What? And so we'll talk about that next week probably. Lastly, please don't talk. Call Chloe down? No, I don't think I will this time. Lastly, don't forget next Friday is your last day to sign up for the New York trip. Okay, if you have questions about what it's going to look like, check with Miss Hayes. She actually has the best sense of what an amazing trip that's going to be. So get signed up before the end of before Friday. Okay. Hey, we've got two great reports today from Panama and Dominican Republic, and we're going to start with Panama. Here we go.
Where right, let me have the Panama team come up here. We were super blessed to be able to go on this trip for the first year and take a bunch of athletes with us. Sport is a common language, and here comes Coach Smith. Just want y'all to look at that. That's awesome, man. Said she was born in the wrong decade. Um, now, sports is a common language. As some of you guys found out on your mission trips, when you throw a ball out on a field or on a court, it just speaks the same language. So this was our big focus on this trip, was sports. And so it was a good trip for us. Excited to bring these guys back. And so if you want us to share some stories that occurred on there about the gospel going forth in conversation. So we'll start with Aaron and then move on down.
So yeah, we did sports on the trip, and it was like a really good way to like open up to the kids and like stop Landry. The one picture of me laughing with the little kid, his name is Kevin, and he was the son of the lunch lady there. It was like right next to the court. So the first day I got there, like he was like super shy and like didn't want to talk to me and was like looking at me weird. And I was like, yeah, I'm American. You're from Panama. Yeah, we're different. And so he's like super shy, like running away. And so like we had these bag of basketballs, and I was like holding them. And there's like a little small basketball, so he's like super small, like so he couldn't pick up the bigger ones. And so I like grabbed the small one out of the bag and like just rolled it towards him, like because he was super shy and like didn't want to touch me. And so he like grabs the basketball, and was like looking at me, and I was like, just come over here and I'll teach you. And he's like coming over there and like trying to like walk towards me. He's like super shy. And so like I brought like this little 9-foot goal that was out there, and like he like looked at me and didn't know what I was trying to do, so I like shot one for him, and he was like, oh, this should be fun. So then he started smiling and started laughing. It was hilarious. So then like the last day we were there, I like saw him in that picture. I'm like tickling him, and he's like laughing like crazy. And so like I like run away from him, like playing like hide and seek, and like I go over there and like tickle him some more. And so it's just like a good way to like open up to kids. And the sports aspect of it, we had baseball, volleyball, and basketball. And basketball's the best group, of course. But we just played a lot of sports with the kids. I mean, for like we were out there for a long time, from like 12 to like 5 in the sun. We're all sunburnt and sweating hardcore because it's amazingly hot there. So it was like it was a good way to. It was fun. As you can tell, like that one picture, Cal's back is like sweating really hard. It was like that all the time. I mean, it was like as soon as you walked outside, you just started sweating because it was so hot. But it was a fun trip. I liked it a lot. Sports are a big part of my life, so I think it was a good way to spread God's word.
Okay, so y'all have probably all heard this before, but one thing that I learned from this trip was that the joy of the Lord really does attract people, and people can really see it. So it was about halfway through the week. We were all really tired. I was fried. Um, like my eyes were swollen shut because I was so sunburned. So I was praying. I was like, Lord, I pray that you'll just give me someone today that I can build a relationship with, and pray that you'll give me joy because I'm not very pleasant right now. So after like that morning, I prayed that, and then we got to the school, and that day was whenever I like made all my friends and met all the people that I still keep in contact with. So that was really cool for me to see, because I'd always heard it that the joy of the Lord really does attract people, but it was cool for me to see it firsthand. So be joyful.
Okay, so something that stuck out to me this trip was like how on fire these people were for the Lord. Like we got there and I was expecting like go into the school and be like, okay, this is what we know about the gospel and they were gonna like listen to us. But we went in there and they pretty much knew everything we knew. Like they were just like us. They've gone to a Christian school their entire lives. But the thing was we went in there and everything we said they wanted to know. They like literally wanted to listen to everything we had to say. And a lot of us here we got to share our stories with them and they were literally and they were so excited to hear that like us Americans have gone through hard situations. Like that was so crazy to them. So it just like taught me that pretty much we need to be on fire for the Lord like they are because they want to know pretty much everything about him and it's just so inspiring. So
Okay, I'm going to do a little overview of the trip. So, for the first couple days, we were in training camp, and then we got to go to the Panama Canal, which we were all really excited to do because that was so cool. And then the rest of the week, when we were actually doing missions, we started off the day by going into the classrooms. We went to mostly junior and senior classrooms. So that was really cool to see people that were our age and just the difference, but yet all the similarities that we had with them. And so that was really cool, and that was a time where we would just sit down and be like, what's your favorite color? What's your favorite food? And then we would tell our stories, so that was really cool. And that was like the tool to get them to come to the camps after school, and that is where we really made like really great relationships. I know that I met a girl the first day, and her name was Andrea, and I'm going to try not to be emotional, but she was awesome. I loved her. We really connected from the very first day. And one of the days, she shared her story in one of our small groups, and it was cool because after it, she came up to me and she was like, your story was so close to mine. Like, I don't feel like the Lord loves me. I don't feel like I'm beautiful. I don't feel like I'm worthy. And so that was cool to see that the Lord really prepared me with what I went through to really speak into her and show her that God is enough, Jesus is enough, the cross is beautiful, and that's why we're beautiful and we have worth. And so that was really cool. And then I met a little girl. She is Cesar's daughter, and I love her, adore her. She was in the video, and I think the video made us like all want to go back because Panama is awesome. If you ever have an opportunity to go, I highly recommend it. So, yeah.
Left my fear by the side of the road. Hear you speak, won't let go. I fall to my knees as I lift my hands to pray. I got every reason to be here again. A Father's love that draws me in, and all my eyes wanna see is a glimpse of you. All I need is you. All I need is you, Lord, is you, Lord. All I need is you. All I need is you, Lord, is you, Lord. One more day.
Anímate a cantar, por eso únete al combate de los árboles de la vida, que dan una preciosa melodía, una canción que sea tuya.
Give his life to save the earth. Rest in the thought that you're watching over me. All I need is you. All I need is you, Lord, is you, Lord. All I need is you.
like to ask all you guys to come up here. They're on our team. Who does this belong to? Do you know? Is that one of the girls? Is that one of y'all? All right. You know, I've heard every trip up here talk about how amazing it was, and I can tell you that this is my third trip to the Dominican, and I'm going to echo something that most of the kids that were with us last year, about 14 of you guys up here went last year, and I think I heard every one of them say that the one thing they were worried about just a little bit going this second time was that it wouldn't be as good as it was last year. And I think every one of them would say to you that it was even better. And it was because I told them a few weeks back before we left that I believed that God had spoke to my heart that he was going to wreck our hearts on this trip in some form or fashion. I don't know when or how or where, but that it would happen. And I would think many of them, the curveball, we always have a curveball when we're down there, which is apropos for being in the Dominican. But the curveball was that this year they threw in the last opportunity to minister down there was at a home you saw up there. It was called Casa de Luz, which is House of Light, and it is a home for the handicapped. And many of these kids that are in this home are they're bedridden, so they stay in their bed 24/7, 365 days a year. A few of them can get out and sit in a wheelchair, but most of them lay there, and many of them are even tied to their bed so that they don't fall out. And some very, very, word I want to use, but their bodies were twisted and contorted in ways that I just didn't think could happen. And several of them, as a result, we were told that they were probably meant to be aborted, and it didn't work, and they lived. And so life is a struggle for them every single day. And so as we walked in that home, and I'll let these guys share some of their stories here in a moment, but as we walked in there, I will tell you that many of us, to include the adults, we were not sure we were going to be able to finish that assignment. Because it was tough. It was really tough. And after about 15 minutes, these guys rose to the occasion and brought a lot of joy into these children's lives. And it was an amazing sight to see, I can assure you. And so I've got a lot of things that I'd love to say, and I could talk for hours about this trip, as many of these guys can. Want to introduce some parents that went with us. Laura Cowan and her husband David went. And another God moment, Angela Beck went with us. She can tell you if she wants to how she ended up on the trip instead of her husband. And this is our new friend, Stephen Thompson, who works with Destiny Sports. They all love Stephen. And Stephen drove up here from Houston today just to be here for this 15 minutes. And so we're really excited. And Michael Pacino went with us as well. And I found out, those of you that are in the class with Marissa, if you don't know Mr. Pacino, get a chance to talk to him, because he doesn't talk much, but when he does, he is hilarious. So, and then Miss Allen obviously went with us. And did I miss my wife? She's not here. She was not able to be here today. So we have a few guys that we're going to share with you this morning. And honestly, I don't remember. So start down the line with those of you that were going to speak.
I'll speak. Okay, I'll start off. On Sunday after church, we got to go to Pasitos. And last year we were supposed to go there, but we actually didn't get to go due to, I don't know what it was. But anyways, we got to go there this year, and I was super excited. So the way it started, this organization was off of a girl named Trinity, and y'all probably saw the video of her. She's hilarious. And so she has Down syndrome. And her grandma, I think, used to keep her in the backyard and treated her like a dog. And so when the grandma died, Dalma, the founder of Pasitos, found her and started an organization off of her. And so, I got the opportunity to hang out with her for a long time. And she's so sweet. And I love that
the Lord can take someone that was used and treated like a dog and make them royalty. So that was just really special. Sorry.
Okay, so he talked a little bit about Casa de Luz, and that's what I'm going to share about. But I was just going to say before, like, this trip was absolutely amazing. It was more than I could have even expected it to be. I was really anxious going into it, wasn't sure, like, what was going to come out of it or anything. But it just turned out so fantastic. But the last day, so that morning we got to go to Santo Domingo and kind of hang out, and we had a really chill morning. And I think all of us kind of forgot that we were supposed to do ministry that afternoon. And we went into Casa de Luz, and it was rough. Like, we weren't really sure what to expect walking in because the way they described it, all of us were kind of freaking out, and I had lots of anxiety, like just walking through it, and praying under my breath the entire time, just kind of praying for the kids, like laying our hands on them because they said they don't hardly get any physical touch. And so I was upstairs walking around just saying like hola to like all the little boys in there, and there's this one boy that was sitting in the corner, and Felix had told us, like, before he had told us this, I had been walking around and I was like touching him, like playing with him, and then Felix was like, our translator was like, be careful with that guy, he kind of bites sometimes. And I was like, what? And so I kind of stayed away from him the whole time, and no one was really like focusing on him at all because all of us were kind of scared like he was gonna bite us or something. And so they told us we had like 10 minutes left or something like that, and I saw him and I went over there and I didn't know what to do, and so I just started like making silly faces at him and like sticking my tongue out and like making the monkey face where you like pull your ears and stuff. And he started laughing so hard, like uncontrollable laughter, and it was the most joyful thing I think I've ever experienced in my entire life. It was such a sweet moment to get to share, especially as my last ministry opportunity being with Trinity. And so it was so amazing. It was so crazy how much joy it brought him just through something so small and like sticking my tongue out at him. And it was definitely the best part of the whole trip. But yeah.
Okay, something that I learned on this trip that really impacted me was that the Lord knows the deepest desires of our hearts even before we know them. And so since I'm a worship leader, everywhere I go, I'm just automatically a worship leader. Like if I have my guitar, they're like, okay, Isabel, you're going to play some music now? I'm like, cool. So I just went into this trip expecting that I wasn't going to be able to make deep relationships with people because I was going to be, overseeing it and helping lead worship and do music. And the Lord really took that and just completely went the opposite way. He put meetings in my life every day with different people through music where I was able to connect with him on a really deep level. And so like one day, this girl, she was older, she was at one of the orphanages we went to, and every song I knew in English that was a worship song, she also knew in Spanish. So we just trade guitar back and forth and play it back and forth for like an hour and a half, and it was so cool. And then, of course, the kids loved it, and it was just a complete honor being able to play and sing with people who just worship Christ with their entire heart and then their entire being, and it was just amazing. And so I was blessed and honored to be on this trip with these people, and yeah, the Lord was amazing.
Okay. So this was my second year on Dominican. I love it. And my favorite part has to be the Lily House. We didn't have any pictures because the whole place is about like protection, and so we're not allowed to take pictures with them. But in Dominican, prostitution's legal and abortion's illegal, which is just kind of crazy because it causes just this never-ending cycle of like women getting pregnant because that's the only way they can make money, and then having to have kids and having to go be a prostitute again to make more money for those kids, and it's just a really big problem. And at the Lily House, they take women off the streets and put them there for 3 months minimum and teach them jobs and take care of their kids and really just try to make their lives better. And this year I went with the women to talk to them, and I was a translator, which was kind of hard because that was my first time fully translating. And this one lady shared her testimony with us, which was just crazy to me because their lives are so hard. And she was only like 12 when her life started going downhill, and I started bawling while I'm translating. So like talking and translating and bawling at the same time is just a problem. It just did not work very well. And that was just so cool and was an amazing experience. And then a couple nights later, we were at SCORE, just like our place that we just stay at. And this lady came up to me and was like, "Were you the girl who was translating like 2 days ago?" And I was like, "Yeah, it was fun." And she was like, "Yeah, well, I just wanted to tell you that the girl that told her story, which was the only one, she has never fully told her story before. And she's been here for 4 years and she just doesn't make eye contact with people. But I noticed that after she would say something, she would look you in the eye and make eye contact with you." So I talked to her about it after, and she told me that the only reason she told her story was because I was there. And so that was just crazy to me because, like, I was only translating. That was all I did the entire time. But, like, just she could see the joy of the Lord from our group, and that just made her be able to share. And I just thought that was the most amazing thing. So that was a great experience.
So we went to Springs in the Desert, which is the reason why I fell in love with Dominican. It's a daycare, so they have a set of kids at the beginning and then a different set in the afternoon. And so I think last year in the summer, we went in the afternoon. And so we were going in the morning, so I was like not expecting to see some of my kiddos. Well, when we were driving into the village and we like stopped for a second because there was a bump, and there was a kid that I recognized from the daycare, and I waved, and he waved back. And then when we got off the bus and I turned, and he had run down the street, and I got down, and he just like ran into my arms, and I just picked him up and hugged him. And it was just crazy that he remembered me from like all this time, and I only spend like 2 hours with him every few months. And so it was just really special to like see that just because you spend like 2 or 3 hours and like you remember them, but they do remember you, and they still love you so much. So yeah.
These guys are awesome, right? There's a line that we repeated throughout this trip, be flexible, right? This trip is constantly changing. It has changed from year to year, and it changes from day to day. Sometimes it changes from morning to afternoon. There are times of baseball. There's times of children's ministry. There's times of women's ministry. There's times of complete silence when we went to rooms where none of the children in the room could speak or would speak. So it's constantly changing, and so I started pondering, why is this trip always changing? And it was a very simple answer. God changes us, right? And some of the people that we have met over the years that we've been going to this place, we have seen how God has literally transformed their lives right in front of our eyes. And so if God is changing us, of course he's changing this trip. So who knows what it's going to be next year? And I think we're embracing that because we're going to be flexible because God's going to change it again, and it's going to be awesome. Okay, so Stephen, would you like to talk? Okay, this is Stephen Thompson. He's with Destiny. He came, like Mr. Ellison said, all the way up here from Houston to come and be with his team today. He's part of us now, so I'm going to let him share a little bit about our team.
I wasn't expecting to talk, but thank you guys for the the warm welcome. And I wouldn't have missed this for the world. They told me during the trip that you guys were going to have this event, and I was like, I'm going. I was putting it in my phone right automatically, just because you guys are awesome. I mean, you guys, we experienced some amazing things in the Dominican. We saw some amazing things, but just to spend that time with these people and to be able to experience Christ in you guys and the love that you have for the Lord, the willingness to go outside of your comfort zone and be Jesus's hands and feet. I mean, you guys broke me. You know, we like I said, we experienced some amazing things, but you guys broke me because it was awesome to see you guys at your age willing and ready to serve the Lord. And I told these guys, and I'll tell you, I didn't accept Christ until I was 21. I didn't grow up in a Christian home. I didn't grow up reading the Bible or anything about God. And I just would say over and over again, I wish that I had the opportunity to do what you guys do at your age, to be able to be raised knowing who Christ is, how awesome he is, how much he loves you, I'm playing catch up now because I didn't get that start in life. And, I'm excited for you guys and what you're going to do because this world is yours and you are Christ's hands and feet. And the effect that you're going to have in this world, you may not notice it now. You may not ever know what you've done or how you've impacted somebody's life. But I'll tell you this, when we get to heaven and God starts handing out those rewards and those crowns, you'll be amazed at the people's lives that you've affected when you get there. And to be able to see people who say, you did this for me on this day, I'm telling you, you guys are all awesome, and I applaud you all. So thank you for the opportunity to be here and to serve with you guys. I love y'all.
Claire changed her mind.
Well, you just didn't hand me the mic. Okay. Okay, so this was my first time going on the trip, and it really did change my life. Everyone has like those life-changing moments in their life, and this was mine. So on the last day of like our ministry, we went to the handicapped slash like mentally challenged place, which is, I don't know, just kind of unfortunate to call it that, but that's what it is. And I was like walking in there, and I was like, I cannot do this. I just can't. And so I was like getting some dust in my eye, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go out and get some fresh air. So I come back inside, and God like spoke to me so clearly, and he was like, you're the one that's mentally challenged if you can't be changed from this experience. And that just like wrecked me. Talk about wrecking your life. And so, yeah, it's just like so amazing how God works in your life. And so also just to see their conditions and like see how blessed we are and how fortunate we are to live in the States and have literally the world in our hands. And it's super cliche to say that it's cliche that we're blessed, but we are blessed. And I will never forget this experience. And I'm really happy my mom could go with me. And that's a weird experience because, so I'm going to tell, well, my dad's passport got, stolen. So my mom had to come with me, and that was probably just awesome. I love you. Okay, everyone, that's all.
Okay, Mr. Havens is wanting me to be done, and we need to be done. But I do want to say this. The last thing, because this was hugely important for me and for this trip. When we were at Casa de Luz that last day, I talked to these kids about those handicapped children being shut up inside themselves because they can't communicate. And the one thing that God laid on my heart while we were there that just really just changed the way I looked at those kids was those kids have a one-way ticket to heaven. And he let me know real quick, they can't communicate with you, but you have no idea the communication that we have. We talk all the time. And that really changed the way we looked at those kids. So, guys, you did a phenomenal job, and it was exciting. This is a great trip. So when you're praying about it next year, if this is what God lays on your heart, you will be blessed amazingly. Thanks, guys. And just